What's going on, everybody? This is going to be about the game that was played. Oh, man, it's hard for me to say this. Baltimore at Pittsburgh, 23-20 loss. A lot of people are blaming Michael Vick for it, and I wasn't even going to do something separate for the Thursday night game. What is this? This is the beginning of Week 4, 2015. I wasn't even going to do a separate thing because I usually do the podcast for the Sunday games. And then I've been separating separating the Monday, but I'm gonna start, depending on how bad the Thursday night game is, I may start separating that as well. But this may come off a little like I'm gonna be honest. Michael Vick to me was one of the most electrifying players on turf. I know the Rams was supposed to be the most explosive, whatever like that. But Michael Vick in Atlanta, when he was on his game, Madden cover athlete, that Michael Vick, that guy was probably the best thing to watch. And a lot of people still think that he's that same guy. During the game, he showed some flashes of being fast, but you don't really lose that. You know what I'm saying? So when you're fast and that's what you do, you don't really lose it. But I have a major problem with this game overall, primarily because the Steelers should have blew out the Ravens, and that's not to knock what the Ravens are doing and knock that they had that drive where it was 6 plays, 80 yards, whatever. They came back. I don't care about how garbage their defense played in certain aspects. What I'm going to attack right now is the simple fact that Scobie is a bum, and he should be the person that is on the forefront right now. Everybody that I've spoken to, Mike Vick overthrew Antonio Brown on the 4th and 1. I understand that, but Antonio Brown also dropped a wide, bro. The ball's in his hands, bro. I don't know. It was like an angel, dropped the ball right in his breadbasket, and he just dropped it. Early on, bro, a nice arcing throw right there. So did Mike Vick overthrow that ball? Yes. Should they have been in that position? No. As far as the kicking goes, and the defense for the most part was, they allowed a lot of crazy stuff that was going on, and that's just another story. But if you guys are new to this podcast, and this is the first time you're ever hearing me do a podcast, I've been doing them for a while. These are also syndicated on iTunes. Everything at G Myers World. If you have any of the questions and stuff like that about fantasy football, things like that, at G Myers World on Twitter, just so that you know how to contact me if this is the first time that you're here. But pretty much I give my opinions. You may not agree with it, but I try to be as logical as possible. And Mike Vick said this is one of the toughest losses that he's ever, it's going to haunt him for a long time, all this kind of stuff, one of the toughest losses of his career. It's always tough to lose a game by a field goal. So let's not act like he's saying something that is unusual. I just don't like the fact that everybody is bro. Listen, for what people expected from Mike Vick, everybody, even the Mike Vick haters, have to agree that he played a lot better than everybody thought that he was going to play, especially Vegas. The line went from the Steelers winning outright, given points, to Baltimore given 3. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, it's a very tough thing when you lose close games. But what I've noticed about these kickers is that they're more garbage than usual. I know they moved the kick back for the extra points, but there's so many extra points being missed, and it is more suspenseful. But the thing about it is, the kicker has one job, maybe 2 jobs. Sometimes to tackle somebody because they kick a ball directly to a guy that's like Devin Hester in his prime, and he runs right by them. And then sometimes they try to make a tackle and get injured for the whole year, like that other idiot. I believe one of the San Diego kickers did that, and another kicker did it recently. The stupidest things you can possibly do. But Scobie missed 2 field goals. Well, probably 3. Was it 3? The guy was just missing something. I don't even know what he was doing. I was so angry about it. I don't even know what was going on. But let's get back to the 4th and 1. Antonio Brown is not the tallest receiver, and the ball was high. Okay, and I understand that. Okay, he was throwing it to the right from his left. All these kind of technicalities. Like I don't really care about the intrinsic value of what that play is compared to what they should have already been doing. If you're a Steelers fan, you're angry and you're very pissed off for the simple fact because it had nothing to do with that play. The game should have been over before that play. So that was one time, that was something that should have been done already. You also know that Scobie should have been like shot with a bow and arrow right there on the field. I'm sorry, bro. Like, just to wound him, just hit him in his leg one time. What are you doing? You're being paid to kick the ball, and he used to be like, the Jacksonville Jaguars, when he was on the Jaguars, I remember because in fantasy I used to pick him up because the Jaguars have sucked for so long right now, and they used to always be kicking long field goals. And in the league that I was in, one of the money leagues, they would give you extra points for 40-plus yards, 50-plus yard field goals. So Scobie was like the man. I can't remember the year it was, but he got me so many points and helped me to, to turn games around on a regular basis. He's horrible right now. He's disgusting. I nearly vomited twice in my mouth watching him kick the ball. This guy's a joke. So I can't blame Mike Tomlin for not going with him and going with it on a 4th and 1. Even though it goes back to the same thing like with the Super Bowl. Should they have given it to Bell? Bell could have got that yard. I know that. But it's just like, I guess Mike Tomlin is feeling like we do for the guys that love to see Mike Vick play in his prime. You're kind of still trying to get that old Mike Vick back. We're never going to get that back. But it just feels good to see him out there playing. And I know he's been through a lot of things, the dogfighting things and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother video for the way that I'm starting to get really pissed that everybody keeps bringing that up. And he's paid his dues. He's done legally what's required to be done legally for the crime he committed. So people need to get over it. And we need to start moving forward and let the man move on with his life. Because people do a lot more harsh things to females in the league, and it doesn't get that many attention. It doesn't get that much attention. You got dudes putting their wives' head or their fiance's head under toilet seats and smashing it, and everything was cool with that. Okay, it's just a woman, but this guy's doing. It's just too much. It's a give or take. I'm not ready to get into that right now. The bottom line is this: I'm going to support Vick right here because I was one of the guys. I'm not sure. I think I did pick Baltimore to win this game, but I picked them to win the game because of desperation going in 0-3. But at the same time, I did say I wanted to see Mike Vick do well. And he did well enough. He maintained the game well enough for the Steelers to outright win this game. The last pass was horrible. I give you that. Antonio Brown dropped a deep ball that should have been a touchdown. They should have already been up by another touchdown. So this game shouldn't even have come down to all the other BS that was going on. But people are so quick because this is the type of negativity that people wanted to see. I knew that once this happened, you see, if it would have just been a blowout, if they just lost really, really bad, all this wouldn't have happened. But because he came so close to upsetting a lot of the people that thought he had no chance of winning, it's even more self-satisfying for them to go on this stupid-ass rant right here. Excuse my French. Even though, is ass French? I don't know what it is, and I don't think it's a curse. People do it on the radio regularly now. But people couldn't wait to stick their teeth into this one. And I know a lot of people, even if you don't like Mike Vick, you have to give him credit for him stepping in and doing what he did for the Steelers at this time. Even though the Steelers are they're a fueled machine that can go pretty far, even with Mike Vick at the helm, because he can do enough to maintain it and they can figure out ways. Le'Veon Bell's not a slouch. Antonio Brown's not a slouch, except for the fact that he dropped the pass that I don't know. I have no idea how he dropped it, to be honest with you. And this is the reason why people are going for taller receivers. With the pass that Michael Vick missed, because I believe if Demaryius Thomas would have got up for that. Even Calvin Johnson, he's not really Megatron anymore. He's just a regular guy now. It looks like people are one-on-oneing him with with Talib. Like he's just a joke right now. But even I think he would have went up for it. So when you miss balls like that, I think even little Steve Smith would have got up for it. Antonio Brown didn't do what Antonio Brown is supposed to do, and that's my problem. And when you don't do everything you're supposed to do as a team, and then, of course, he's a quarterback. He holds the ball every snap, blah, 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 whatever like that. I believe, in my humble opinion, that Mike Vick did everything possible that he could have done to help the Pittsburgh Steelers win this game. If you're a Steelers fan, let me know how you feel about it. If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, I did put something on my Instagram page that you guys might like. Check it out at G Myers World. It's pretty funny before you guys came back and won, but it's all about the fun of the game. I just want to have fun with it, but regardless of who the person is, whatever like that, you got to be honest with it. Vick did above and beyond what was necessary. And then you had a bum kicker. He better not be on the roster right now. He better not be there. And if I see him anywhere else, the coach or whoever brings him in should be fired. Scobie, you are done. Washed up. Get the F out of here. But at the end of the day, it was a tough loss for Michael Vick. And I feel for him, man, because I pretty much thought he had it, man. I thought he had it. And it turned out the way it did, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That was a Thursday night game. They lost 23-20. As far as the Baltimore Ravens go, I really did. When Flacco did that freaky fumble off his knee, I just really thought that, you know what, they're destined to lose this game. But somehow, some way, they were able to win it because of, you know, guys just not making plays in specific situations. But at the end of the day, this was strictly, in my opinion, to show support to Mike Vick. I don't like the way everybody is blaming everything on him. It's ridiculous. And people have to be accountable for everything. And that damn kicker, Scobie, is a certified bum with cheese and that new black crust that they're using on the Burger King burgers for Halloween. He's a joke. And I'm just so disgusted overall with everything that happened with the Steelers. And I know the Steelers fans are very upset as well. Hopefully you enjoyed what my thoughts were. Even if you don't, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking on Twitter. Let me know at GMyesWorld. And I'll see you guys around for the next time. One love.